A man walks into a restaurant for a blind date he never wanted. He's exhausted, broken, still grieving his wife 3 years later. His sister practically forced him here, saying he needs to start living again. He spots his date across the room and freezes. She's crying, her whole body shaking with sobs. He should leave. This is clearly a disaster. But something pulls him forward. One step, then another. She lifts her head, and his world stops. This woman is his CEO. The same CEO who's never noticed him in 4 years of working at her company. The woman who sits in a corner office on the top floor while he struggles to make rent every month. The woman who holds his career, his livelihood, his daughter's future in her hands. His mind races. What is she doing here? Does she know who he is? What she says next breaks him completely. Because in that moment, he realizes that the powerful woman everyone fears is just as broken as he is. Maybe more. Before we continue, let us know in the comment section where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far our stories reach. And if this story speaks to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Jacob's feet carried him forward before his brain could stop them. The woman at the table had her face buried in her hands, shoulders shaking. He stopped a few feet away. "Excuse me," he said softly. "Are you okay?" The woman's hands froze. Slowly, she lifted her head. Jacob's heart stopped. Her eyes were red and swollen, mascara streaked down her cheeks. She quickly grabbed her napkin and wiped at her face, trying to compose herself. "I'm so sorry," she stammered. "This is so embarrassing." Jacob stood there, unable to move, unable to breathe. "Can I sit?" he finally managed. She nodded, still wiping her eyes. "Yes, please." Jacob pulled out the chair and sat down. His hands were shaking. The restaurant noise faded to nothing. Neither of them spoke. Finally, she looked at him more carefully, her brow furrowing. "You look familiar. Have we met before?" Jacob's throat went dry. "I work for you. Marketing department." The color drained from her face. "Oh, God." "Yeah." She pressed her hand to her forehead. I didn't know. My assistant set this up. She's been trying to get me to date for months. She just said your name was Jacob." She looked at him, mortified. She had no idea. "My sister set me up too," Jacob said. "Just said her name was Natalia." She let out a shaky laugh. "This is a disaster. Do you want me to leave?" "No," she said quickly. "Please don't. I don't know what to do here." "What were you expecting?" Natalia looked at him, and something in her expression cracked. "Someone who didn't know who I was. Someone who might see me. Not the CEO, not the money. Just me." Her voice was bitter, raw. "Is that why you were crying?" Jacob asked gently. She was quiet, deciding whether to answer. Then she nodded. "I drove here thinking maybe this time could be different. That I could just be Natalia for once." She laughed hollowly. Then I realized how pathetic that was. I'm 32, successful by every measure, and I'm so lonely I can barely breathe. Jacob felt something twist in his chest. He'd spent 4 years resenting this woman, and here she was, falling apart. "I've never been loved," Natalia said, her voice breaking. "Not really. Everyone who's been with me wanted my money, my connections, never just me." She wiped her eyes. "I see people with families, with children, with someone waiting at home, and I feel this ache that won't go away." The waiter appeared, uncomfortable. "Have you folks?" "Not now," Jacob said firmly. The waiter left. "I'm sorry," Natalia said. "You didn't sign up for this." "Actually," Jacob said quietly, "I didn't either." She looked at him questioningly. My wife died 3 years ago. Allison. Brain aneurysm. She was 32. One day she was here, the next she was gone. Natalia's expression softened. Jacob, I'm so sorry. She left me with our daughter Ariel. She's 8, and for 3 years, I've been trying to hold us together, working 70-hour weeks because if I stop, I have to feel everything. He paused. My sister said I'm just surviving, not living. She's right. But you had love, Natalia said softly. Real love. I did. And losing it nearly destroyed me. They sat in the weight of their confessions. Two strangers who'd stumbled into each other's pain. What's your last name? Natalia asked suddenly. I should know, but Morrison. Jacob Morrison. Natalia pulled out her phone and typed. Her expression changed as she read. Curious, then confused, then angry. What is it? Jacob asked. You submitted a proposal 3 months ago. Client outreach restructuring. Your manager marked it low priority. It never reached the executive team. Jacob's stomach sank. I spent 2 months on that. It's brilliant, Natalia said. This could increase client retention by 15%. She looked up, her eyes flashing. Who's your manager? Richard Collins. Why? Because he buried your work. Steel entered her voice. That ends now. You don't have to. Yes, I do. Natalia interrupted. I can't fix everything. I can't bring your wife back. But I can make sure your work isn't buried anymore. I can make sure you're not invisible. Something in Jacob's chest cracked open. Why? You don't even know me. Because I know what it's like to feel invisible, Natalia said quietly. People look at me and see a title, a bank account. You go to work and people see just another employee. Not the father working himself to death. Not the man still grieving. Just someone expendable. Jacob's throat tightened. That's exactly what it felt like. I'm going to change things, Natalia said. Starting tomorrow. Collins is gone. You're getting the recognition you deserve. Just like that. Just like that. I've been blind to what's happening in my own company, but I'm not blind anymore. The waiter returned. This time they ordered, neither really looking at the menu. When he left, Jacob leaned back. This is the strangest date I've ever been on. A small smile touched Natalia's lips. Me too. Tell me about your daughter, Natalia said. What's she like? Jacob's face changed completely. She's everything. Smart, stubborn, funny. She wants to be a marine biologist one week, an astronaut the next. She plays soccer and she's terrible at it, but loves it anyway. She sounds wonderful. She is, Jacob said quietly. She deserves more than I can give her. I doubt that's true. It is. I miss her school plays for mandatory meetings, can't afford vacations. She wears clothes too small because I'm waiting for payday. He paused. And she never complains. Just smiles and says we're okay. But we're not. Natalia was quiet. What if things were different? What if you didn't have to choose between being there for her and keeping the lights on? That's not how the world works. Maybe it should be. Maybe I can make it work that way. Their food arrived. They ate slowly, conversation flowing easier now. They talked about everything. And somewhere in the middle, something shifted. They weren't CEO and employee anymore. Just two broken people finding unexpected comfort. As they finished, Natalia looked at Jacob. Would you be willing to do this again? Not as boss and employee, just as two people who understand each other. Jacob's heart did something complicated. Fear and hope tangled together. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm not either, Natalia admitted. But maybe we don't have to be ready. Maybe we just have to be willing to try. Jacob looked at this woman who'd been crying when he walked in. This CEO who was just as lost as he was. And for the first time in 3 years, he felt something other than grief. Possibility. Okay, he said quietly. Let's try. The next morning, Jacob woke up feeling different. Lighter, somehow. Like something that had been pressing on his chest for 3 years had finally loosened just a little. He made breakfast for Ariel, watched her eat her cereal while telling him about a dream she'd had about dolphins. And for the first time in a long time, he was fully present, not thinking about work, not drowning in grief, just there. "Dad, are you okay?" Ariel asked, looking at him with those big eyes that were so much like Allison's. "Yes, sweetheart, I'm okay." "You look different." Jacob smiled. "Different good or different bad?" "Different good," Ariel said, grinning with her gap-toothed smile. "You look happy." The word hit him harder than it should have. Happy. He couldn't remember the last time someone had called him that. "I had a good night," Jacob said simply. "Was it the date Aunt Jessica made you go on?" Jacob laughed. "Yeah, it was the date." "Did you like her?" Jacob thought about Natalia sitting across from him, mascara running down her face, telling him she'd never been loved. "Yeah, I think I did." Ariel's smile got even bigger. "Good. You deserve to be happy, Dad." Jacob's throat tightened. "So do you, kiddo." When Jacob got to the office, everything felt surreal. He walked through the same doors he'd walked through for 4 years, took the same elevator, sat at the same desk. But nothing felt the same. Around 10 o'clock, his phone buzzed. An email from HR. His heart started pounding. "Jacob Morrison, please report to the executive floor. Conference room A." Jacob's hands went cold. This was it. Natalia regretted everything. She was going to fire him for making things awkward, for knowing too much. He took the elevator up, his stomach in knots. The executive floor was different from the rest of the building. Nicer, quieter, the kind of place he'd never belonged. He found conference room A and knocked. "Come in," a voice said. Natalia's voice. Jacob opened the door. Natalia was sitting at the head of the table, dressed in a sharp, black suit, her hair pulled back. She looked nothing like the crying woman from last night. She looked like the CEO again. But when she saw him, her expression softened. "Jacob, close the door and sit down." Jacob did, his heart racing. "I wanted to talk to you before I made this official," Natalia said. "Last night, I told you things were going to change. I meant it. Natalia, you don't have to—" "I fired Richard Collins this morning," she said simply. Jacob's jaw dropped. "You what?" "I went through his files. Yours wasn't the only proposal he buried. He's been doing this for years, protecting his territory, making sure no one beneath him looked too good, making sure he stayed essential." Natalia's eyes were hard. "He's gone. So are 2 other managers who are doing the same thing." Jacob couldn't speak. "I'm restructuring the entire marketing department," Natalia continued, "and I want you to lead it." "What?" "I'm promoting you to Director of Marketing Strategy. Your salary is tripling. You'll report directly to me." She slid a folder across the table. "This is your new contract. Look it over. If you have questions, ask them." Jacob opened the folder with shaking hands. The numbers on the page didn't seem real. "Why?" he finally asked. "Why are you doing this?" Natalia was quiet for a moment. "Because last night, you reminded me why I started this company in the first place. Not to build an empire, not to get rich, but to create something that mattered. Something that treated people like human beings instead of numbers on a spreadsheet. She paused. I lost sight of that, and people like you paid the price. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Natalia said simply. Say yes and help me fix this place. Jacob looked at the contract again. The salary alone would change everything. He could afford a bigger apartment. He could take Ariel on vacation. He could be there for her school plays without worrying about losing his job. Yes, Jacob said. Yes, I'll do it. Natalia smiled, a real smile, the kind he'd only seen glimpses of last night. Good. You start Monday. That's in 3 days. I know. Use the time to spend with your daughter. You've earned it. Jacob stood up, still in shock. Thank you for all of this. Don't thank me yet, Natalia said. You're going to be working hard. I have high expectations. I won't let you down. I know you won't. She paused. Jacob, about last night. I meant what I said. About wanting to do it again. Jacob's heart did that complicated thing again. So did I. Are you free Saturday? There's a park near my place. We could take a walk, talk, no pressure. I'd like that, Jacob said. But I have Ariel on Saturdays. Bring her, Natalia said without hesitation. I'd like to meet her. Jacob stared at her. You want to meet my daughter? If that's okay with you. Jacob thought about it. About introducing someone new into Ariel's life. About the risk. About what it might mean. Okay, he said, finally. Saturday. The park. Saturday came faster than Jacob expected. He was nervous in a way he hadn't been since he was a teenager. Ariel, on the other hand, was excited. Is she nice? Ariel asked for the 10th time as they walked through the park. She's very nice, Jacob said. Is she pretty? Jacob laughed. Yes, she's pretty. Are you going to marry her? Ariel, I've been on one date with her. But do you like her? Jacob thought about Natalia's tears, her confessions, her vulnerability. Yeah, I do. Then that's all that matters, Ariel said matter-of-factly. They found Natalia sitting on a bench near the pond, wearing jeans and a sweater. Jacob had never seen her in casual clothes. She looked younger, more relaxed. She stood up when she saw them, and Jacob could see she was nervous too. Hi, Natalia said. Hi, Jacob replied. This is Ariel. Ariel looked up at Natalia with open curiosity. Are you Dad's girlfriend? Ariel. Jacob's face went red. But Natalia laughed. Not yet, but I'm hoping to be his friend. Is that okay with you? Ariel considered this seriously. Do you like dolphins? I love dolphins. Good. Dad, I like her. They spent the afternoon walking through the park. Natalia asked Ariel about school, about soccer, about her dreams of being a marine biologist. She listened like Ariel's words were the most important things she'd ever heard. At one point, Ariel ran ahead to look at the ducks, and Natalia moved closer to Jacob. She's wonderful, Natalia said softly. She is. She's the best thing in my life. I can see why. Natalia paused. Thank you for letting me meet her. Thank you for wanting to. They watched Ariel throw bread to the ducks, laughing when they fought over the pieces. I've been thinking about something, Natalia said. About what you said that night. About not being able to afford things for her. Natalia, I don't want your money. That's not what I'm offering, she said quickly. I'm offering time. Your new position comes with flexible hours. Work from home when you need to. Be there for her school events. Take her on that vacation you've been putting off. She looked at him. Money helps, but time is what she really needs. time with her dad. Jacob's eyes burned. You don't have to do this. I want to, Natalia said. I told you I'm fixing things, starting with the things that matter most. The weeks that followed were like a dream. Jacob started his new position and discovered he was good at it. Really good. His ideas were implemented, his voice was heard, and for the first time in years, he felt like he mattered. But the best part was Natalia. They saw each other 3, sometimes 4 times a week. Sometimes it was just the 2 of them, having dinner, talking for hours about everything and nothing. Sometimes it was the 3 of them, Jacob, Natalia, and Ariel, doing normal family things, going to movies, getting ice cream, attending Ariel's soccer games. Natalia was different with Ariel, softer, more open. She cheered at the games, even though Ariel's team lost more often than they won. She helped with homework. She asked questions about Ariel's day like she genuinely cared about the answers. Because she did care. Jacob could see it. One evening, after they'd put Ariel to bed, Jacob and Natalia sat on his small balcony, drinking wine and watching the city lights. I need to tell you something, Natalia said quietly. Jacob's heart skipped. What? I'm falling for you, she said. For both of you, and it terrifies me. Jacob set down his wine glass. Why does it terrify you? Because I've never had this before. This feeling, like I've found something I didn't even know I was missing. She looked at him. What if I mess it up? What if I'm not good at this? You're already good at this, Jacob said. Natalia, you show up. You care. You see us. That's all that matters. But what about Ariel? What if Ariel adores you? Jacob interrupted. Last week, she told me she wishes you could be her mom. Natalia's eyes filled with tears. She said that. She said that. Natalia wiped at her eyes, laughing. I'm crying again. You have this effect on me. Good, Jacob said, moving closer. I like seeing you as you really are. And what am I? Human, Jacob said. Beautiful. Real. He kissed her then, soft and gentle, and Natalia kissed him back. It was nothing like his first kiss with Allison had been. That had been wild and passionate and young. This was different, deeper, born from pain and understanding and the knowledge that they'd both been broken and were slowly putting each other back together. When they pulled apart, Natalia was smiling. I love you, she said. I know it's too soon, but I do. I love you. Jacob's heart felt too big for his chest. I love you too. 3 months later, on a cool evening in October, Jacob took Natalia back to the restaurant where they'd first met. The same table, the same corner. Natalia looked beautiful in a blue dress, her hair down, her eyes bright. Why did you want to come back here? She asked. Because this is where it started, Jacob said. This is where I found you crying and decided to sit down anyway. Best decision you ever made, Natalia teased. Second best, Jacob corrected. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Natalia's hand flew to her mouth. Jacob opened the box, revealing a simple diamond ring. I know we haven't been together that long. I know people will say we're rushing. But I also know that life is short and unpredictable. And when you find someone who sees you, really sees you, you don't let them go. He paused. Natalia, will you marry me? Natalia was crying again, but this time they were happy tears. Yes. Yes, of course, yes. Jacob slipped the ring on her finger, and she pulled him into a kiss that made the entire restaurant disappear. I love you, she whispered against his lips. I love you too. They sat there for a long moment, just holding each other, and Jacob thought about how far they'd both come. From two broken people crying at a restaurant to this. To love. To hope. To a future that actually felt possible. "Can I tell you something?" Natalia said. "Anything." "When I was crying that night, before you showed up, I was thinking about giving up. On dating, on love, on ever finding someone who could make me feel less alone." She looked at him. "And then you walked over and asked if I was okay. And everything changed." "Everything changed for me too," Jacob said. "We saved each other," Natalia said softly. "Yeah," Jacob agreed. "We did." The wedding was small, intimate, exactly what they both wanted. They chose a garden venue with flowers and string lights and the people who mattered most. Jacob's sister Jessica was there, crying happy tears. Natalia's assistant sat in the front row, beaming. A handful of close friends filled the rest of the seats. But the most important person was Ariel. She stood at the entrance in her flower girl dress, pale pink, holding a basket of rose petals. Her face was serious with concentration as she walked down the aisle, carefully dropping petals one by one. Jacob watched her, his heart so full it hurt. His little girl. The reason he'd kept going when everything felt impossible. And now she was leading the way to his future. When Ariel reached the altar, she grinned up at him. Jacob winked back, and she took her place beside Jessica. Then the music changed. Natalia appeared at the end of the aisle, and Jacob forgot how to breathe. She wore a simple white dress, her hair falling in soft waves. But it wasn't the dress that made his eyes burn. It was her face, the pure joy radiating from her, the way she looked at him like he was her entire world. When she reached him, she took his hands. "Hi," she whispered. "Hi," he whispered back. The officiant spoke briefly, then nodded to them. "Jacob and Natalia have prepared their own vows." Jacob went first, his voice shaking slightly. "Natalia, 6 months ago, I walked into a restaurant expecting nothing. I'd given up on feeling anything other than grief. And then I saw you crying, and something told me to stay. To sit down, to listen." His voice cracked. "You saw me when I was invisible. You made me believe I could live again, not just survive. You loved my daughter like she was your own. I promised to see you, always. To hear you, always. To love you, always." Natalia was crying openly now. She took a breath and began. "Jacob, I spent 32 years believing I was unlovable, that I was destined to be alone." Her voice was soft but steady. "And then I met you on what was supposed to be just another disappointing date. You saw through every wall I'd built. You didn't run. You stayed." A tear rolled down her cheek. "You gave me something I never thought I'd have. A family, a home, not a house, but a home, a place where I'm just Natalia. And that's enough. I promise to love you and Ariel for the rest of my life. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride." Jacob pulled Natalia close and kissed her, both of them crying and laughing at the same time. The small crowd erupted in applause. Ariel ran up and threw her arms around both of them. "You're married. Does this mean Natalia's my mom now?" Natalia knelt down, tears streaming. "If that's okay with you." "It's more than okay," Ariel said. "I've been waiting for a mom." Natalia held her, and Jacob wrapped his arms around both of them, his girls, his family. 3 months later, they stood in the same park where they'd had their first outing with Ariel. The leaves were changing colors, painting everything in gold and red. Ariel was running ahead, chasing squirrels, her laughter echoing through the trees. Jacob and Natalia walked hand in hand. "I never thought I could be this happy again," Jacob said quietly. Me neither, Natalia said. But here we are. Ariel ran back to them, out of breath and grinning. Can we get ice cream? They looked at each other and laughed. Yes, Natalia said. We can definitely get ice cream. As they walked toward the ice cream shop, Ariel between them holding both their hands, Jacob thought about that night at the restaurant. How close he'd come to leaving, how one decision to stay had changed everything. What are you thinking about? Natalia asked. Just how lucky I am, Jacob said. We're the lucky ones, Natalia said. All of us. She was right. They'd both been lost, drowning in their own pain, convinced they'd never find their way out. But sometimes, the love you need most finds you in the most unexpected places. At a table in a restaurant, with tears and vulnerability and the courage to stay when everything tells you to run. Sometimes, all it takes is one person asking if you're okay, and one person brave enough to answer honestly. Sometimes, that's all it takes to change everything. Love doesn't always come the way we expect it to. Sometimes it comes when we're broken, when we're crying, when we've given up hope. But that's when it matters most. Jacob and Natalia found each other when they needed it most. And in doing so, they found themselves. What part of this story touched you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Soul Story for more stories that remind us what truly matters. Thank you for watching.